And hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Hairy Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. Another week. We're so much closer to the holidays. I was not going to play Christmas music yet. I'm not going to do it. Maybe later, but not right now. But got a great show for you guys. I'm glad to see you're all here because I went down another rabbit hole for sure. But before we get along,
Planetary powers, activate!
Woo! Mr. Brentville, welcome.
What's up? How's it going?
It's good. It's going good.
Yeah, you sure
Going
went
good.
down that rabbit hole with this one, huh?
Oh
It's
my
gonna be a
God.
fun one. I'm excited.
I did. I totally did. We shall see at the end if I made everything kind of work out.
Yeah.
But it was kind of fascinating. I wanted a simple topic this week.
hmm
Bigfoot diet. What does Bigfoot eat? Let's do it. Why not? We all talk about it, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to get a little bit more technical than just they eat whatever they come upon, eat as much as they can, whatever. So I decided to take a path of least resistance. No, I didn't take the path of least resistance.
You never do.
I know. I started looking stuff up and we almost have another guest. It's almost trying to work themselves in. And I don't think it's working. Let me see. Let me see.
Have him restart his phone.
Yeah, I think so because it's not, there's no picture or anything. So if you can hear me, try again. It's just like thinking. It's working. Okay, he heard me. He got off. So I wanted to ask a question of how much food would it take for a Bigfoot to survive every day? Okay. That was my main question I wanted to get answered through all this. But I found myself asking more questions and more questions. So it came down to, well, I guess first you have to know how big of a animal, person, whatever you want to call Bigfoot. Okay. It doesn't matter in this case because we're going to go scientifical on everybody. How much would it take to sustain a mass that big? And he's not getting back on. Okay. Well, when he comes on, I will bring my guest in. So, did you like my thumbnail this week?
Oh yeah, yeah, I liked it.
Did
Yeah.
I win? Where's is oh, you know what? I have to acknowledge people in the chat first.
Oh
And
yeah.
that I didn't do that. Why didn't I not do that? I always do that.
We're so excited for what we're doing tonight.
I know, so I don't forget all this stuff that's in my brain,
Hope nobody's eating at this moment because it might get a little.
No, we're not going to talk about poop today. No poop.
Yeah. Well, maybe eating slugs or something. I don't know. That might come up.
Yeah,
Put that FYI out there.
One calorie a slug. Anyway, so let's see. We've got Judy. Judy was first in the house. Welcome, Judy. Good to see ya. Fun mommy. Is that Jera? Well, hello there. I hope you're still here. You came on really early, like early. Uncle Bones, good to see ya. B. Lynn.
What's up?
Brown Dwarf. Nice. My flock is everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to my flock, okay, because I want to talk about her a little bit. B. Lynn, Cindy Finn, Mark. Would that be Mark Dodman? Looks like it. Val, welcome. Sandra Piper. Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. He's here. Are you here with a smile? Angel Nolan. Enzo, yay, he's here too. I want to talk
Yeah.
about him too.
Nice.
And let's see who else we have. The Howler, one of my favorite peeps
What's up?
with the best recipes. Lockbeard, nice to see ya. Heard you had some drama. Michael Haywood. Cindy, did I say Cindy Finn? I did say Cindy Finn. Michael Haywood, Finding the Trackway. I don't know who that guy is. He keeps showing up every week. I don't know.
I don't know.
That Trackway person. Got to watch out for him.
Yeah.
If I missed y'all, I apologize. Jay, I see you, Jay. Sharon, I see you, Grasshopper.
Joe
Woo,
Dryden.
man, this is just going
My
on and on
eyes.
and on. I got everybody in tonight. And let's see if I can bring in my other guest. Oh, I think I can. So,
Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, you got music. Nice.
this is special music for a special guest. Let me take this off. We've got Mr. Squatch Talk himself, Pat. Welcome to the show. Hello.
Hello. Hello, Clarice. That's quite the little thumbnail thing there.
I love him.
Kind of funny.
So cute. Can you hear us?
I think it's.
Can you hear me?
I can hear playback.
Should I? Let me stop the music. I love that music. I mean, I found it
Oh.
special for him. Okay. Pat, can you hear me, buddy?
Hello.
Oh, we got no audio on you. Okay, so I'm gonna take you back out. I guess you're gonna have to try again. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
go
what's
through the
wrong.
link again.
Go do it again. Try it again. Because this time it came up faster, but no audio, buddy. Got no audio on you.
Hmm.
Okay. So I put him in the back. I guess I'll have to kick him out of the studio so he can reboot. All right.
Reboot.
We've got to move on. We just got to move on. Man. So much to do. Bat Mom, I see ya. Bigfoot Diet.
Bigfoot Diet. How much do they
Questions.
eat? What do they eat? Yes.
What does Sasquatch eat? That's what opened the doors immediately to speculation, right? Well,
Mhm.
we have a lot of people out there who have encountered Bigfoot and they say, well, I saw him eating this. I saw him cracking nuts. I saw him eating shells. What do you call them? The shells, the mussels next to
Yeah,
the little
oysters.
streams or whatever. Yeah, freshwater stuff. We know people feed him peanut butter. God knows why you would feed a wild
Hope he
creature peanut butter.
doesn't have any peanut allergies.
Right. How sad.
If not, man, you
Poison.
suck.
It's all poison, you guys. If you're gonna feed Sasquatch, make it natural, fruits and nuts and stuff that he can find normally. You're just helping him out with that. Anyway, that's something else. But how much does Sasquatch need to eat per day? How much? Can he just survive on a handful of blueberries? Or is he need more to support his mass? And that was some of the questions that I found myself trying to answer. And which took me into if I'm going to start searching for this answer, it has to be plausible. Why? am I just assuming he can have, a roast pig dinner every night? Is it going to be that easy? Is it going to be enough to sustain a creature this big? So that was the questions. And you know what? I was going to mention my flock and Enzo, and I haven't seen JoJo on as of yet in the chat. So should I do that now before we get into this? I'm
Yeah.
wondering. Okay, let me
Sure.
do that because I still want Pat to come on because
Yeah, yeah, give
I
Pat
want
some
to
time.
I want him to be part of this conversation because of it was something he said or something he taught me that took me down this particular rabbit hole. So with that, this morning had to get up early to let the dog out, and at 7 in the morning, I have been following this guy because of my flock. My She follows Dan the man, Staten, Danny Staten,
Mhm.
and I was on one of his streams one time, and she was on there, and she subscribed to me. I subscribed to her. I follow her around, and she is on a show with the JoJo Bone show, and he's a fairly new show. But I had the best time this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning on this show, barely awake, drinking my first cup of coffee. And I was hoping that my flock would be there so I could meet her in person. Well, not in person, but, on the show and get to have a quick talk with her. But hope sometime soon, I'm sure I'll be floating over there again. Well, this morning, his morning mojo with JoJo show. It's so cute. I love saying that. Mojo with JoJo. He had an in the raw type of morning show this morning, and we talked Squatch, and it was a really great show. And I just wanted I really think that it's great when you support smaller channels. I consider my channel a smaller channel. His is just starting out, but I highly recommend that you all go over there and see um, the JoJo Bone show and Enzo. Oh God, I'm gonna butcher your last name though, Enzo. Surreally. Can you see it? Can you see it, Brent, or no?
Surreally. Yes, sounds good to me.
Next time you're gonna have to teach me. Teach
We'll
me
call you
the name.
Enzo. Yeah.
But yeah, we did, Enzo. We had a great conversation and hope to have many more. I wanted to talk more about aliens. And but it was a fun little talk. So I highly recommend y'all if you're a morning person and you're up to drop into his show. He does it at 8 a.m. Central Time. He does that one, and then you can find his link and hit that subscribe button for him. And there you go, Mr. Lee. Thank you for the subscribe. I think you'll enjoy it. His format is a lot like Mogi on Monster, but in the morning, and he does a little bit of everything. So I think y'all will like him.
That's cool. Yeah.
Trust me. Okay. So that's all because of my flock. I followed her and she led me to somebody else. And, so there you go. So let's get on with my main topic.
Sasquatch,
And
what do they eat?
what do they eat?
Yeah.
And how do we answer? Because those questions led me to more. More. How big can Bigfoot get?
Hmm.
Because if I'm going to estimate how much food a Bigfoot can eat, I need to know how big they can get. But if I'm talking about how much of they can eat, I need to know how big their population is, how big their tribe or family size is in an area, because that'll come into play when we start talking about other animals like gorillas, okay, that live in troops. Okay, so is there enough food that can sustain them in a certain area, which led to so is there a migration? Do they migrate out of different areas? Because some people agree, yeah, they do migrate. Some people say, no, I think they stay in the same area. So if they stay in the same area, do they use up their food sources? Because my whole point is that if they do stay in one area and they need all this food, they will decimate their food source very
Hmm.
fast if there's large population in their little group, troop, tribe, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
Um, so these are all the questions that I'm gonna try to answer for you. And the first one that we're gonna get to is that general question I said is, how big can a Bigfoot get? There are researchers out there right now who say they get bigger than 15 feet. There are some they say that they are 25 feet. Okay. And I never believed in that. I've even seen some saying 35 feet, that in Canada and Alaska, there are super huge, and they're giants. They're these giants that we can't see. They're bigger than the trees, but we can't see them. Okay. And that's out there. So this is how I'm going to dispel that for a lot of people. Okay. And I'm going to dispel the idea of those big numbers with science. So stick with me on this part. And hopefully I got a lot of notes in front of me.
Hmm.
A lot of highlights and circles. So we're going to just move on. Okay. There is something called the square cube law. And you've all heard Pat talk about this before. That's where I learned this. Okay. Is that there is something called the square cube law. And it is the reason why things can't get bigger. Uh, you can't just double things in size. Okay. And think that it's going to be exactly how you are, just bigger. That doesn't work that way. Okay. And it doesn't work that way for this reason. I'm just going to read this because I'm going to explain it more. But
Hmm.
this principle states that as a shape grows in size, its volume grows faster than its surface area. So, when applied to real world, this principle has many implications which are important in fields ranging from mechanical engineering to biomechanics. It helps explain phenomena, including why large mammals like elephants have a harder time cooling themselves than small ones like mice, and why building taller and taller, my cat's about to kill everything. Get down. Get down. Um, taller skyscrapers is getting harder and harder to do. Okay. And there is an exception with the elephants, I just said. Okay. And I'm going to go through that too in a minute. What I found as I took this deep dive to hell. Okay. So now that I said that, you're all going, huh? So I'll break it down just a little bit. And instead, we're going to go straight to the biomechanics, okay? Because that's what we're interested in. We're interested in how this affects living creatures. So, if an animal is isometrically scaled up by a considerable amount, its relative muscular strength would severely reduce. Okay. Just because something gets bigger doesn't mean it gets stronger. Okay. That's not the case. Since the cross section of muscles would increase by, scaling factors and all that math, the mass would increase by exponentially. and would result in things like cardiovascular and respiratory functions would just be completely burdened. Okay, it would be really hard to do all that functioning when you're growing a system, a biomechanical system. So, um, in the case of elephants, there was an MIT lecture that said they had successfully debunked the law, square cube law, and had proven it because elephants prove it. Elephants are bigger and they can get really, really large, and you can scale it up and they survive. But the thing they didn't take into account in that instance was that the bone structure of elephants is different. It has actually created denser, able to hold the weight of an elephant from when it was little. Okay, so it always had that structure in place from thousands and thousands of years ago from the mammoths. So
Mhm.
it's always been able to hold its mass, no matter what weight it got to be. Um, and like I was telling you, Brent, earlier, is that there's always exceptions to the rule when it comes to life. You know, this just
Yep.
happens to be one of those. It was already predestined from the beginning to be able to hold this mass weight. That's not the case with most animals, though. So, um, there's also something called the allometric scaling. Okay, and that is where that's actually what it is called. Allometric scaling for elephants is that
Mhm.
the bones are proportionately much larger than, say, the bones of a mouse. Okay, you couldn't take a mouse and make it as big as an elephant because its bones couldn't support that mass. I don't know what my cat is eating over there. Um, well, the other day she had a string and it was like hanging half out of his mouth. It was
Ooh.
disgusting. Anyway, so that's what that is, okay? And another way of explaining it is that uh, we see in movies and even in history the talk of giants, the talk of monsters, you know, and we want to kind of, a lot of people want to say the Nephilim and these giants, are what the is an ancestor of Bigfoot, and that it's possible, making that the reason why Bigfoots are possible. But the monsters say they weighed 1,000 times as much as a human. Okay. Every square inch of a giant bone has to support 10 times the weight by square inch of a human bone. So the average human thigh bone breaks under 10 times the human weight. So most animals show that allometric scaling with increased size, both among species and within different species. But the giant creatures seen in like the monster movies, Godzillas and the King Kongs,
Mhm.
that's just unrealistic. It's unrealistic because of their sheer size. It just would not hold up. They would collapse. The bones would just collapse. Um, and you also have another thing involved, that where you have bigger animals, it's harder to control uh, temperature within that animal. So the bigger, the harder it is to control their heat, and
Mhm.
they call that thermal runaway syndrome. So it's real hard for elephants to stay cool, uh, which can also affect if you're a human and have that. Um, so we're going to get, I think the next slide I had Keebler. Okay. Well, here's an example of that square cube law. You're not just doing one little square and then you double another little square. You have to include the surface area and the mass. So you're increasing by a larger number. Okay, so if you look at the 1 cube and you have a 1 cube mass, by the time you're at the 4 height, you have 64 pounds of mass. So it's just an example of how you just keep it, you get a lot of mass the larger you get,
Mm-hmm.
which is too much stress on a normal system. But people are always out there saying, well, they're human, they're part human, they're just another tribe out there. And well, if you're going to call them human, then they have to abide by the same laws as humans, scientifically. You know, their whole makeup. So, on this one I have, why did that pop up? I don't know. Oh, okay. So, Kleber's law is an observation that the vast majority of animals and animals' metabolic rate scale to 3/4 the power of the animal's mass. So it's pretty much just saying that the more mass you have, the more metabolic rate they have. More metabolic rate means more food to sustain.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things are in place to explain why animals need as much food as they need to survive. And animals that are herbivores, they graze a lot, like 18 hours out of their days, because they need so much nutrients. They need to eat a lot to obtain that calorie intake to survive. So, and that's just the elementary law there, stating that it has to do with organisms, body mass, size, the shape, and how it's all related. And I wanted to real quick come see what Lockbeard was saying, because he's probably dying. Lockbeard, if you want to come on and help me with this, you are welcome to come on. Okay. Sasquatch get 20 feet tall. They eat only marshmallows, and their family structure is mommy, daddy, and 2 babies. Oh, and they live 250 years.
Well, there we go. There we go.
You
Let's all go
solved
home.
it. It solved it. We're done. I can throw all this
Congratulations.
stuff away. No. Actually, there's people who believe that, so that's very sad.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you consider the source on them, and you just kind of like, oh, well, that's cool. Just walk away,
Mm,
you know. Um, yeah, because
yeah.
I just don't see Bigfoot really being viable at 15 feet, or it's not like a goldfish putting it in a
Right,
lake or
right, right.
anything, you know. Uh, yeah, got to
Wait,
abide by
the Attack of
science.
the 50-Foot Cheerleader wasn't a documentary? That's funny. That is funny. Um, let's see. Work together big. What else? What else? What else? Okay, here's another one. None of this matters to Bigfoot on account of his helium gas bladder, constant heat expulsion through farts, and they counterbalance with the large swinging schlong slathered in orb butter. Oh my
Ooh.
God. You've been talking to Doug Highcheck, haven't you?
Oh man.
No. Okay. Okay. Enough of that. Lockbeard. And yes, Lockbeard has a new channel, and I will be putting that up here. So, Lockbeard, make sure you drop that or send it to me on my messenger, and then I can post it for you, or give it to one of my mods to post your channel up. Lockbeard's had a bit of issues, so his channel is changing. And you
Oh, is
are,
it?
yeah, so you are welcome, Lockbeard, to come on if you want to. And let everybody know that in a little bit when at least let me just get through this mess I got going right now. What else? Anything else? Sasquatch. Okay, we already did that one. Why did it go back up? Weird. My thing just jumped. Appalachian Tale of Terror. There's Jimmy. Timmy boy. It's been a while. Good to see ya.
What's up, man?
There's Alan. Hi, Alan.
What's up?
Former everything.
What's
Good to
up?
see you. Glad you guys could all make it. Shannon guy. Sharon.
What's
Good,
up?
good, good. Oh, Brian and Chewy. My friend has a dog named Chewy, and I just he's so cute. I call him Choo Choo. He's got an underbite, so he looks like Chewbacca.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. uh well, I tried to get you on here, Mr. Pat. I did so that you could do it all for me, but I'm gonna keep on going. Boom. Okay, so okay, where were we? So now we have all these laws, right? This is all scientifical, peoples. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. So here we have Mr. Robert Wadlow. He was the tallest person in recorded history at 8 feet 11 inches. Okay. At his death. His growth was due to his pituitary gland and hypertrophy, and his levels of his human growth hormone were just unstoppable. So he just kept growing and growing and growing. And he had all kinds of issues. Okay. He could not walk very well at all. And he was in a lot of pain through most of his life. He actually had high blood pressure in his legs caused by the sheer volume of blood in his arteries that would burst blood vessels and cause varicose ulcers. And an infection happened in one of those ulcers, and that's what eventually killed Mr. Wadlow. And that's what we are going to find is that you have all kinds of issues with blood circulation the larger you get, okay? Because you're trying to pump blood further because you have a longer distance from your heart to your extremities to different organs in your body. And that requires much more oxygen, much more food. Uh, it's just too much for the body to handle. Okay. And so that's something else we have to consider when we are thinking about how big something can get.
8. That guy's huge next to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it say here? Oh shoot, I had somewhere where it showed how tall he is. I think
8 foot 11.
No, his dad next to him, how tall
Oh,
he was.
okay.
I think he's 5'11". I think his dad was 5'11".
So a Bigfoot would be about that. An average size Bigfoot would be about that size, and
Right. And
four
we know
four
how
feet
he's
wide.
walking. Right. And how he walked. He barely had 2 canes. He would just barely make it to his destinations. He was homebound a lot. I want to make sure I didn't pass anything up here. Oh, and for those of you thinking about marine life and like whales and stuff, you got to consider buoyancy. Okay, you have to do that because that changes everything. When you have a system in a buoyant situation, you don't have that same pressure. Okay,
Hmm.
so maybe Sasquatch has two hearts. You're right, Val. Maybe they do. We don't know. Um, we don't know if a Bigfoot's bone structure is different from ours, which would make it completely different thing if it is. So we don't have those answers. All we can do is speculate and try to compare at this point what from what we know, from what we can see, and how to compare it. So, okay, we went through this law. I don't think I'm gonna go through any more of this one. Um, and I wanted to make sure that you realized the one important factor. Um, this one says it. It says it's 8 times larger. One's muscles, bones, and organs would not strengthen concurrently. As a result, their legs wouldn't be able to support the weight of the rest of the body. That is also part of this whole square cube law. Okay, it's not the same. The weight is just too much for things
For that,
to be the same.
for that's bipedalism. What about if the weight's distributed, like over, you know,
Yeah, that
more
that would
limbs or
also
something?
change it. Yeah, that would also change it for knuckle walkers like gorillas. They
Hmm.
can handle the weight because they're distributing their weight differently.
Okay.
Uh, and same, well, for elephants it's a double thing because they're not only just distributing it on four legs, they also have a different shape bones.
Muscle
They're
structure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs' bones are completely different. They're not like ours that break under 10-time pressure. Okay, we can't just hold all that weight all the time. And you see that with obese people, they get
Mhm.
bed bound. At some point they can't walk anymore. You just get bed bound because your body at some point will just not do it anymore. Um Okay, so we got Wadlow under there. Oh, another thing is that when things get taller like that, the electrical signals that travel to and from the brain is a
Mhm.
much larger distance. So a giant would be 4 times slower at reacting.
Hmm.
So this puzzles me because we all always want to say the Sasquatch was so fast. It just
Mhm.
it was here and then it was gone. You know, that's another puzzling question. How can something be that big, that massive, and still be stealthy, quiet, and move fast?
Well, we're about the same size as chimpanzees, and they have a much faster cognitive ability than we do. And so there's a difference between us and them. So maybe whatever that difference is what gives them that advantage.
But chimpanzees don't get to be 10 feet tall, 9 feet tall,
Well,
you know?
yeah, but, just saying comparatively though.
hmm Um, strength to weight. The giant person's metabolic rate would increase by a factor of 23.
Hmm.
Boom. What is my next one? Oh, it's just a little graphic, um, which I wrote and I still put it way away. So here it's showing, a human as 37 pounds, 5.5 foot human. I don't know why they picked such a short human, but I'm pretty sure 1.6 meters is 1.65 meters is like 5.5 feet. Somebody can double check me out there. Psh, quick. Where's Uncle Bones? He's fast at math. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, buddy.
And they're showing this giganto over here as an 1,100 pound, 11 foot tall Gigantopithecus. So
And let's take note of the legs and arms are the size of it. So that means it walked more on its four. It
right,
distributed or just
right.
yeah.
There's still people out there saying that Giganta was an upright walking bipedal creature, but all of science shows that he wasn't. He wasn't a bipedal, that he was probably a knuckle walker, just like a regular orangutan. And another thing that I found was hold on. God, you guys are talking so much. It's distracting me. Oh, yes, right. Squatch Talk. Completely different design with the T-Rex. Believe that Brontosaurus-sized dinos had a smaller subbrain between the tail and head and assist their giant size. That would explain why giant cartoons back in the day would move so slow and Bat Mom. Brian to Chewy. There's Lockbeard's channel. Thank you, Uncle Bones. Sharon says 5'2", which is 1 meter 57. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I knew it wasn't that big. But you have to remember, we're getting taller as a species. We're consistently been getting taller.
Sure have.
Okay. So now we've done that. I've shown you how we're at Giganto now. So now we need to see what something that big, what would it eat? Okay. So we're even talking 2 or 3 feet taller than what I'm trying to figure out, what my goal is here. So what would a Gigantopithecus eat? So that's what took me into my next research, was finding out about Blackie here and what was found. So we found the first molars were discovered in a Chinese pharmacy back in 1935 by a paleoanthropologist of the last name of Koenigswald.
Ooh, that's a
I didn't
mouthful.
put his whole name in there because that would have been way too much. Anyway, he was in there, he found the molars, and I had pictures of the exact molars, but for some reason those suckers did not want to go onto the slides. Don't ask me why. So I abandoned that, but I found some other ones here. And later on, as our science grows, okay, because our science is improving. Okay, look at DNA. Okay, back in the 70s, nothing, 80s coming around. We've made a lot of advancements in science. So these molars have now been studied, and I don't want to go there yet. I found a Science Direct study that was done back in 2017, and it was done out of the Quaternary International Science Direct. And the title of this was called Flexibility of Diet and Habitat in a Pleistocene South Asian Mammals, Implications for the Fate of the Giant Fossil Ape Gigantopithecus. Wow, that's a title for him, let me tell you.
Yeah, it is. Jeez.
And I read this sucker so that I could understand what I was going to talk to you guys about. So information is out there. It is out there. It's kind of hard to find, and you have to go down, check this out and this out and this out. But that's why I kind of always like skim through resources of something else and something else, because that's what leads you to one thing to another.
Hmm.
Well, in this, it pretty much in a nutshell breaks down that when they went to look at the molars, that they did a carbon stable isotopic composition of the tooth enamel and compared it to other mammals and of the southeastern Asia, show that Gigantopithecus was a forest dweller with a generous vegetarian diet and was not specialized on bamboo, because for many years people show Gigantopithecus and a whole thing of bamboo, sitting there gnawing on bamboo because that's what they thought it did. Well, it's has been proven that it really doesn't do that, that it more likely has a similar diet to of an orangutan, not a giant panda. And so we've got this huge animal, 1,100 pounds, surviving on a vegetarian diet.
Wow. That's been resourceful.
That it's a lot of feeding. That means that he's consuming constantly when he's awake for something that big to obtain enough calories and vitamins, to survive and be that big of a mass. All and that's all this pretty much says too. In all of this, a lot of this 5 pages was just references on this thing. And oh my god, yeah. So I could have definitely gone down a bunch of different more stuff on this, but what my main goal was looking at the Gigantopithecus was just proving that something that big would just be eating a vegetarian diet and survive.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you go down another avenue, scientists say that probably was its demise, was having that kind of diet and being that big. But that's a whole nother thing I didn't want to get into. So just take that information for what it's worth. Now that we have an animal that size can, sustain life being that big, we know that if you want to call Bigfoot human or in that field, if their bones are like ours, it can't sustain something bigger than 10 or 11 feet. It just can't do it. So now that we have that, let's look at some animals and how much food they eat. How much, I just left her up there. Okay. And that would be, let's start with a gorilla. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a male gorilla can eat anywhere up from 350 to 500, can weigh 350 to 500 pounds. The females can weigh 130 to 200, 250 pounds. And they can eat up to 40 pounds a day of leaves, stems, fruits, seeds, roots, ants, termites. And unlike chimpanzees or baboons who use tools to get to termites, uh, the greater apes don't do that. They just smash termite mounds and they get straight to the termites. So facts about gorillas that they never stay in the same place for more than a day. They don't want to deplete their food source. So they're constantly, every day, they move to a new site and they make a new nest because they're known not to sleep in the same nest twice. So this brought on something else for me, knowing that they found nests up there in the Pacific Northwest, right? And they want to say that those are Bigfoot nests. Well, if Bigfoots are out there, and if you want to say they're any way similar to, say, a gorilla, do they want to sleep in the same thing every night, or do they make a nest every day? And if they make a nest every day, why aren't we seeing nests all over the damn place?
Mm-hmm.
So They're just different. I'm just devil's advocate. Okay, I'm just stating stuff
Well,
here.
yeah, it seems like it's a difference in cognitive ability between the two. Bigfoot seems to have a greater ability. It would have
Right.
to.
Now remember, none of this is proven. We're
Yeah.
just speculating here. So um so that's a lot of food, 40 pounds a day in non, not meat. Just it's pretty close to vegetarian, pretty close to except for the ants and termites, the insect stuff.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know about the energy output the gorillas have as well, as far as
Um
how much energy they need to collect that
um
40 pounds with it.
I read and it says strong drama, teeth, gorilla, true through blah blah blah. They have very fast, short bursts of energy. They can do fast, short bursts of energy.
Hmm.
Um,
So kind of like a cheetah, it's just they're fast, but only for short periods in certain.
yes, yeah, that's what I was reading here. Also, I did not know that gorillas, the ages 8 to 12 years old, are called blackbacks.
Hmm.
It's 12 to 15-year-olds that are start getting silverbacks, and that's why they're called silverbacks. They're the older generation. Um,
Yeah, and you don't really see this type of color change in Bigfoots. I mean, you do hear about some being white and, gray
mhm,
colored, but nothing like this here where it's just kind of part of all the gorillas there.
right. Okay, so that's all it says. It doesn't really go through. And this information is coming from, where is this coming from? Um, wow, it didn't print on here. Probably because I only took a little piece of it. Usually it has the source up at the top. I think it was the San Diego Zoo is where I got this stuff from.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that one looks like it's in captivity there.
yeah, these ones. And the captivity ones sometimes can get larger and they live longer.
Oh,
So
really? Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Um, so the next one, bears. Okay, that's another big animal that's out there in this type of element. And bears, depending on the type of bear, can weigh from 100 pounds to 1,500 pounds. Okay, it just depends on the type of bear. Now, that's kind of worldwide. Like some bears weigh really little, and grizzlies weigh more, but the polar bear is the biggest bear. Okay, and it can weigh up to 1,500 pounds. But a normal sized bear, 400 pounds, would needs to consume about 5,000 calories a day on a normal day. In the fall, uh, that jumps way up to 20,000 calories a day that they try to consume because they're preparing for hibernation. Many bears, not all bears, okay. Um, but during this, it's called hyperphagia when they start to try to build their weight up for their sleep, or denning. The females, and during denning, the females can lose 25% of their weight during that process. That's why it's real dangerous when you're out there in the woods when they're coming out of that denning, because they're pretty ravenous, the females, and they've got cubs. So
No, yeah, it's like,
yeah, it's a danger zone
yeah.
for sure. Let me take a quick look. Any questions? Please put them in capitals so that I can see it faster, because you guys are talking and talking and talking, and I'm just scrolling back through. Okay, so put those questions in caps if you need to stop me. So there's a bear. So it didn't say how many pounds. Everything was talking about calories when it came to bear. It was kind of weird. Um, so to put this into reference, oops, dang it, almost pulled everything off again. We know bears eat blueberries, right? They eat berries. Well, like a cup of berries is only 80 calories. So that doesn't hold. It holds like 15 grams of sugar, maybe 20 grams of carbs, and really high in potassium. But that would be a lot of damn berries if that's all he would eat. So bears are pretty much they'll eat anything they come upon. Okay, they are omnivorous. They can eat dead animals that they come across. They do a lot of the foraging, and they are part of the Bergman's rule, which is basically states that the size larger size animals are found in the colder areas. Hence, polar bears are the largest. They're in a very cold area. And then you have the grizzlies, and then you got the brown bears and the black bears down below. So we've got this succession of how big the animals can get. But that's what we think too. I've heard a lot that they say the Bigfoot and Sasquatch in Canada and Alaska are larger.
Hmm.
Bigger areas, uh, bigger animals. So I don't know whether that's true or not.
Yeah,
But
Kodiak Island is where the largest bears are. For
yeah,
um,
right. So it kind of makes sense. And oh, thank you, Mr. Lee. Mwah, appreciate it. So what else did I save about the bears? 5,000 calories, blah blah blah. Florida black bears diets can be most bears eat 80% plant, 15% insects, 5% animal matter, which is whatever they come across. They can also feed on wasps, bees, termites, ants, any dead small rodents, and
pretty much anything.
right. And some of the actual larger bears in and around where humans are, they're big because they get into our garbage.
Yep.
We feed them or they find our garbage. So that's why they're abnormally big.
Do you ever are you subscribed to the uh,
What's up?
thing up in Alaska where the bears, they do a contest of what bear is the biggest at the end of the season, because
Oh
they
my
start
goodness.
fattening up. It's like, oh my God, watching some of these bears that were really successful. It's just like, man, you could tell how hard it is for them to walk,
Oh,
especially climbing up like little hills and stuff. And kind of goes back to what you're talking about. Their structure
yeah.
isn't built for that long term, if it's only
Well,
a short
I,
term
kn-
thing.
I know I've seen some of those channels where the fishermen are up there doing their salmon fishing and bears are just right there in front of them or, walking in front of them and they're like, okay, don't move. It'll just walk right by. It'll be
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, oh my God, that thing could just swipe you and you're gone. But they're huge. They're just
Mm.
absolutely huge. And I mean, I recently went to Bearzona in Arizona and went through, seeing the little bears and because we have scrawny bear in Arizona. Some of them are kind of pathetic. The ones inside the thing, the what do you call that? Sanctuary are pretty healthy, but in general, the wild bears, they're don't look that great. But they are nothing compared to what you would see in Alaska.
Yeah, well, they need that for the winter time. I think the
Right.
bears in your area don't really hibernate so much. Um, as the bears up in Alaska, because they got to probably do it for more long period of time and thus get faster or fatter. And that's why you probably got some mangly looking bears where they just always, they probably kind of changed how they operate and stuff.
Right. Right. So, okay. So we talked about all of that. I showed you how much these animals would have to eat, and scavenging for 20,000 calories, even let's just say 10,000 calories, would be a lot in most woods, I mean, you would have to really be trying to find a good meal there to sustain yourself. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what they do with most of their time is foraging, looking for food.
So the question is now that we know what these larger animals, how much it takes for them to eat in a day, I take the question to the chat. So I hope you were all paying attention because it's quiz time. Quiz time.
Ooh, suckers.
Oh, we didn't even go through elephants. I did.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I thought there was a couple more other animals on there.
I forgot about the elephants. So you have a 7.5 ton elephant who eats like 165 to 330 pounds of food a day. That's like 16 hours of eating because they're vegisaurs. Okay. They eat nothing but grasses, and that takes a lot to hit 70,000 calories a day. In a zoo, they eat about 125 pounds, and that's because they're, restricted diet, but they're giving it to them. They don't have to go searching for it. And they can even travel up to 7 or 8 miles a day just foraging and grazing.
Yeah, I think they also eat their poo too to get more nutrients out of it.
Let me see. Let me pull out what I don't remember reading about the poo, but I'm sure you're correct.
Yeah, well, a lot of animals do it to get for the nutrients. Like gorillas do it for like certain nuts and stuff, so they could get the full nutrients out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really common for animals to do it in zoos because they lack the nutrients that they really need.
Wow. One elephant molar can weigh 5 pounds. Did you know that?
Whoa.
And they have 4. They have 4 molars.
Whoa, that's yeah, I did not know that. That's crazy.
5 pounds.
Well, they gotta break down all that grass and whatnot that they eat.
Largest on record was 13 feet tall at the shoulders. And what? 24,000 pounds? Dang.
What?
He weighed 24,000 pounds and was 13 feet tall at the shoulders in Africa.
Wow.
That's pretty damn
big. That's a big guy.
That's pretty damn big. You want a 5-pound weight around your neck, Mr. Lee? He says, I would love an elephant tooth necklace.
So in regards to this with like alligators and stuff, so since they're mostly in the water, I guess that's how they can kind of get around that, right? Just same with the whales.
They're buoyant, but they don't have, I don't think they have that air bladder thing. I don't know. Hey, get out of there. What in the world? Cats and dogs. What do we do?
Taking over the world.
They are. I don't know. He's burying himself in something. Grass eaters, flower plants, leaves, shrubs. Oops.
Yeah, Curious Cryptid's confirming that mostly grass eaters do eat their poo again to get more nutrients out of it the second time around. So,
Uh,
it makes you wonder if
any
I don't know
calories?
how that adds into it.
Do you think Bigfoot eats his poop?
Maybe. Uh,
That's the only way it would fit in. Is if
yeah, I don't
Bigfoot eats his
know.
poop.
I guess if you're hungry, I don't know.
Bot. Don't delete it. You gotta report them, and then it says you put what for, and then it'll take it off. But don't hide those messages. You need to report. Hit the report button. My mods.
Yeah, and
Like,
send me the link so I can double check them.
shut up, dude. You need to go out on a
just
date,
to
dude.
just to verify. No, I just need to verify. It could be Bigfoot related for all we know, but they just have a handle that's
Oh.
inappropriate.
Yeah. So just so you all know, when you're mods, hit the report button instead of the hide or delete. That way you report it, then you hit another button saying what for, and you send it, and it'll take it out, so it's not there anymore.
Nice.
But if you just hide it, then it stays there, and we have to look at it. So just a little thing there. Okay, so that distracted me. So I think I got through the topic, but now's the test. Let's
Yeah.
speculate. If we
Let's
have
chat.
a 9 foot tall, 700-pound Sasquatch, how much food do you think it would take to sustain that animal? How many calories a day? And I just put some choices there: 40 pounds, 60 pounds, 80 pounds. And knowing what we just went through, we know it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
We know it has to be more than 40 for sure. It has to be more than 10,000 calories a day for sure.
That's for a full size grown adult, likely
Mhm.
male.
And they
So
need this,
females and
okay, to
kids are a
survive.
lot lower. Yeah.
Yeah, you need this is I made it specific. 9 foot tall, 700-pound adult Sasquatch. How much food would they need to consume to survive, to stay like that? Now, there has been a lot of people who say, "Oh, this one was skinny. He wasn't like all fat." Which makes sense. Each individual Sasquatch, I don't think they're all going to look exactly the same. I
Mhm.
think they're like us. They all have different faces. They all have a little bit different girth. So,
Well, isn't it the same that the Bigfoots up north are a lot bigger than the ones down south? Maybe that's because
right,
Bigfoot has to hibernate more or to go into some sort of sleep state up north to better get through the winter. Uh,
right.
Maybe
So,
something to that.
we're just speculating here, on what you guys think. I'm interested. Joe, Western New York, Bigfoot. I'm interested to hear what you'd have to say. Um, um, Pat,
So,
is Pat still here? I was looking, but I didn't see him. If he's still here, I'm interested in knowing what he thinks, how much food a Bigfoot would take. But look at the variety of everybody's answers. We don't know. Nobody has sit there and watched Bigfoot for a whole day and seeing what it consumes. And there could be days where he gorges one day, where maybe he consumes a whole hog one day and then he doesn't eat for a couple of days.
well,
Yeah,
and
there's
maybe
that
he
scenario too.
gets some of his bigger calories later in the season too, like when fishing the salmon run and stuff for coastal regions.
Right. So then we have that question. Do they migrate to where they know there's more food? Do they go to those salmon areas during a specific time of the run and gorge like the bears?
Yeah,
And then they
it's
move somewhere else.
yeah, it seems like Native Americans had that type of lifestyle, and it seems more in line with what the Bigfoot's lifestyle would be. It would be more nomadic within a land that you were very familiar with. You knew the seasons, you knew when the salmon were coming, you knew when the berries were going to ripen, and you knew all this. You know where the animal herds were. You knew to be mindful not to over, take from that particular area, and yeah, it seems that that's more in line with what they do, hypothetically speaking, of course.
Yeah, of course, of course. So Enzo says, for reference, a Big Mac combo meal with medium fries and a Coke is 1,100 calories. So should we be putting out Big Macs? Big
Yeah,
Mac.
but the nutrients in
Yes.
that 1,100 calories
Yeah,
probably isn't what the nutrients of what their 1,100 calories might be.
yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
what?
Uh,
Oh, Donald Fuller says go to Walmart and get their ribs. Tack them to a tree, and then we'll get one for sure. Enzo says 15,000 calories a day. Good. That's a good guess. Your guess is as
mhm.
good as mine and anybody else's. Mary had a good guess. Pat says 10,000. We'd probably make it. I think Mary had a guess 15,000 with a 10-hour activity, which is
Of like,
good.
yeah, foraging and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that brings up a whole nother thing. Are they nocturnal or are they just whenever,
Hmm.
day and night?
Well, it comes down also, do they cache food to help get through the winter or
Right. Do they?
during the
Oh no.
slow seasons? Yeah.
Yeah. You do that. You do that. I love you.
Something that would be interesting of a study to do is with the moose to find out what their calorie intake is over the course of the 4 seasons and see how their calorie intake or food intake would change since they don't hibernate. So they're constantly going to be up all year round. So it'd be interesting to find out their um,
Mm.
what their thing is with it to see if they because might find some interesting information with that because Bigfoot,
And there
yeah.
is your next assignment, buddy.
Oh shoot. Uh-oh.
You just chalked it. There's your homework.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's true. But it would be interesting because each food source per season has different,
Right.
calorie intake that has
Just
different
like
nutrients and
I showed with the bear that they eat more in the fall because they know some of them are going to be hibernating or there's going to be less food around,
yeah,
you
it's a
know.
switch. It's a switch in that still isn't really fully understood. That it's just part of the way the bears are, and that's why a lot of those bears, the salmon run is huge for them. It's like if they didn't have the salmon run, they'd die because they can't get through the wintertime.
Mm. 5-chamber stomach. Wow.
See, there you go. So
How
that
much does a cow have? 4? I thought, or does it have 5? Does a cow have 4?
so that
Um,
begs the question, could a Bigfoot have multiple stomachs? Maybe two.
oh my God. So, okay, then they really aren't human if we go down that route. And then
Are
everything changes. Everything I just said gets blown out the window
are
because it's
are, are the digestive systems for the other primates and apes and whatever, are they similar to ours?
they're fairly similar, except they it's stronger because they have to something about what did I read? Something about them having to break down the fibers of what
Mhm.
they eat. They have different like stronger enzymes or something that helps break down, the food.
Yeah,
But
and oh,
generally, they have the same things we do in our body.
okay.
Um, I
So if
think that's all I read about that.
So that would probably, yeah. So Bigfoot would probably be more in line with that, with us and them, and
Mm-hmm.
probably the one stomach thing. But yeah, maybe there are different. It's an interesting question because yes, some of the food that is eaten does need more processing to go through their stomach, so that's why they eat their poo. Um, I don't know. That's interesting.
It is, and that's more and more research that I just wasn't gonna do. So
Yeah,
at this
no,
point,
you've done a lot. I mean, that you did like a whole hour right there
I
on
like I
on
like
such a
look,
deep
I
dive.
mean, I did so much. I'm
Yeah.
blabbering now. So and the show's not over yet. We still haven't done my normal stuff. So um that being said, guess what time it is?
Show
Where's
me
my
what
thing?
you got.
Show me what you got.
Jim, you heard them said, show me what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
We are here to show me what you got, and I did have some submissions this week. So
Ooh.
we're gonna take one of them and we're gonna look at them, and then I have the email printed right here in front of me, and I'm not gonna reveal where this came from or who it came from, and we're just gonna look at it and let everybody um, give their opinion about it. So, oh, I guess gotta hit the button. So here's the first picture. I wanted to submit these photos my son took on his phone in Brown Springs in 2020. He didn't see anything in the blackness, but felt that there was something in the area, which is why he took photos. There are a lot of activity from the moment they hit the gravel road. Then it goes down to they all said that they were surrounded by several human or creatures, as well as the footfalls they heard were bipedal sounding like human steps, but the vibration was heavier than that of a normal human. They all said that they were not welcomed there and rushed to leave. What I see in the picture, well, she says, what I see in the pictures are two different distinct figures, but one looks like someone wearing a mask to me, and the other figure I see has a backstory that I'm still in disbelief of and will tell you about it if I can see it. And then it says the picture of Brown Springs in the daytime, which I'll show you in a minute, was taken a year prior in 2019. And would like to know if anyone can tell me how trees can form like that naturally. There were trees that seemed like they were brought there from somewhere else since I couldn't find a matching species of the tree. So this was the first photo, and I'm kind of guessing that right smack dab in the middle there, she sees a mask or something that looks something like a mask.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of a very grainy photo. So it is what it
Yeah.
is. Here's another one of that same one, just a little bit the contrast is different.
Hmm.
And then here's a daytime photo, um, which kind of looks normal to me. It looks like anything I would find in walking in the woods.
Yeah, with storm damage and stuff, and with
Yeah.
the first photo too. Me and Tristan went out Bigfooting today, and we came across what looks like prints and stuff. And so when I try to record it, take a picture of it, take a video of it, never looks like it does in real time.
Mhm.
So we're always going to have so much information lost to what people are really seeing in real time. So something to consider going forward with it, because it's like we just can't really properly, unless you do a cast, we can't really properly document this stuff.
That's a rake, not a Sasquatch. Just kidding. My eyes. What did you say? I see nothing but big. Oh, that was Western Bigfoot. That's not who I was trying to hit. Right there. I see a dog man. Looks like Joe. Okay. Nothing. Let's see. Bubble.
Yeah, that there looks like a typical storm damage.
And then there was this picture. I don't know. There looks like there's camera artifact on this photo.
Hmm.
If you look off to the right, to me it looks like the camera is trying to pull focus, but the lighting is weird in the dark, so it's creating like that look of that half look.
I agree with you. This was probably on a phone too, right? Cell phone.
Most likely it
Yeah.
doesn't say here.
Yeah, and cell phones have incredibly small sensors compared to like a DSLR or something. So,
Mhm,
it struggles sometimes, um, unless you got like one of those new iPhones and perfect for low light conditions. But most phones will
mhm,
struggle at night and cause different
right,
artifacts, especially if this was taken from a video, because a video does more matrixing issues versus just a still photo.
right. But that right side, I think it's just the trees in the background, but it's just because of the way the camera took the photo, because the camera wants to try to pull focus on whatever you've got lit, okay, whatever the light is on.
Hmm.
And it's clear that the left side is getting all the light, but it's still going to try to pick up what's on the, in front of it.
Hmm.
So hence you're going to get this what's it called? It's called not ghost. Um, I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me later on in the show. But you get that imagery on that side where it just wants to try to grab the picture, try to grab what it sees. And hence, it wants to throw you into that pareidolia. You want to be able to see eyes and a mouth and a nose and
Hmm. That's why it'd be interesting to find out if this was taken from a video or a still photo, because yeah, that probably plays a factor. But
the I'm sorry, Donald was talking about his blue orb. Well, send me the photo, Donald, and we'll share it. Dang, Donald, do it, dude. Hey, Papa C. It's in the house.
yeah, so whoever sent these, definitely keep going out there, doing the best you can, and um, be mindful of how artifacts like this could be created, like Nikki was talking about at night. Because if that was a Bigfoot or something like that, I don't know if it would be standing. It'll allow somebody to get that close to it.
Hmm.
Uh, so I don't
Well,
know.
I think it stemmed from them hearing stuff first.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, Donald. I'll have to go back and look. Um, I think I do remember. Anyway, so I think that was the only one. Yes, that's the only one. So consensus, I just it's really hard to say because we weren't there. Number one, we didn't hear what was being heard, and
Hmm.
if you hear noises in the dark out in the woods, you, it changes things. It changes how you see things and what you want to pull out. Because I know if I heard a banshee cry in the middle of the dark forest, I'm going to start seeing freaking banshees out there roaming around. And that's just, it just happens. That's just in our nature that our minds do that to us. They want to create, they want to connect our vision to our hearing, to our smell, and connect everything together.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, some of the stuff that we get shown here, we weren't there, like you're saying. It's just so we can't really fully say what's going on with it. But
Right.
yeah, keep up the
But
search.
if this is an area that you guys think is, something's going on, then it's time to start doing more, going out there more, doing some video.
Yeah, and try and look at getting uh, tech that will help figure out what you're looking out there too. Like something that's FLIR camera or something like that.
Mhm.
Of course, that's not stuff like that's not easy to get.
Right. It's
But
not. It's not, but it's your experience. So you just hold on to it and see what happens
yeah,
in the future.
yeah, and
And
it's one of those things where it's just put it on a shelf and maybe something, may not. Come back to it and see how it goes. Did you see the one that was posted in the coalition? That was live streamed, and I saw it, and it was like, I only saw the video once before I lost signal going out to the woods, but it's really interesting. It's supposed to be like a dog man or something, and there's a few live stream videos of when it happened, right after it happened, and these other people going looking for it out in the forest there. But
I'll have to go check it out. I haven't seen that. But I did see something and I meant to put it on here and I just forgot of a recent thing that our Rocky Mountain Sasquatch did. Okay. And he posted something that shows a camping area and off across the stream up on a hill. He's saying that it's a Bigfoot and the Bigfoot gets up on a tree, that you can see it going up the tree. But my analysis clearly showed it was a leaf.
oh, really?
It's a leaf way close to the camera. And as he moves, that leaf is moving. So it's that
Effect.
scenario. Yeah, that whole thing. To me, I see it clearly. I see a stem. I see the whole thing as a leaf. But I could see in the beginning, I was like, whoa, wow, what is that? And then I had to blow it up. And then once I did that, my eyes started to see how the camera was moving. and that what's clued me off. And so if I can remember, I'll try to have that on next week so we can see that.
Did Kelly Shaw not blow it up for everybody?
A little bit, but
No.
right
Not
away
enough.
it was Bigfoot. Everything is a Bigfoot. So
Oh yeah, with Kelly, yeah.
yeah, so and I'm not disputing if he thinks it's a Bigfoot, then more
Yeah.
power to him. But that's
Yeah.
not what I see. So I'm just telling you how I see it.
Yeah, it's probably inconclusive evidence that will never be determined to fully figure out what it is. It's just it's up to your interpretation. And
Now, if Matt gets a hold of that footage and runs it through anything he has, he will 100. I guarantee you, he will conclude that that's just a leaf close up to where he's at.
yeah, I mean, I definitely trust his judgment on that. He's got a lot of experience with it.
Yeah, for sure. So what do we got next? I have another new little segment and it's going to take 1 minute to do. It's called Nikki's Notion. And what it's about is that I just want to give some good vibes to people. And I'm going to select some quotes that I find impactful. So today's quote of the day is, when you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on. That's Franklin D. Roosevelt said that. Just a little bit of inspiration. Don't give up. Hang on for dear life if you have to.
We're spinning really fast in space, so hold on.
Right. Yeah. This has nothing to do with Bigfoot. It just has to do with me sending out good vibes and stuff. So that's that. So, oh my gosh, we've already reached Bigfoot in the news. But
I need to get
of
some
course, I have to redo my Bigfoot in the news thing, but
boom.
boom. And yeah, I'm not prepared. Hold on. I gotta go there. They just make it not easy to do this crap anymore. So, okay. Here we go. It should start sharing here shortly. We have got. Did it come up yet for you? Do you see?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, we've got To the Outdoors, Sasquatch, possibly in Chautauqua County. This was posted 9 hours ago. Many believe the legendary cryptid walks among us. This was put out November 13th. Mayville, New York. Few creatures in the wild attract more controversy than Bigfoot. The legendary primate has been an enigma for centuries and continues to fascinate. Mayville resident Peter Weimer has been sponsoring an annual Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo since 2012. Is this the one that this isn't the one you went to, was it? Joe?
Me? Oh,
Joe.
I was gonna be like, not
Is
me.
2 hours west of me. That's where the expo was. Oh, okay, yeah, he said it was. Well, it made the news. So, where was I? The outpouring of witnesses since then has many believing that Sasquatch may be living in the area. Oh, look at there's Steve Cole's favorite photo. There are from all kinds of walks of life. There's 45 eyewitnesses that have reached out to me. There's 100 or more in Chautauqua County that aren't talking to me, Weimer said. The county is lush and dense forest and deep gorges that would offer such a large animal plenty of space to remain concealed. Their habitat requirements are very similar to the black bear, a common and seldom seen species in the area. So that photo for all of you is the photo where it was eating apples or something that fell off a tree. What was it? In
Yeah.
front of the guy's house.
Yep.
And so Steve Culls, Squatch D TV, has done full analysis on this and actually went to the premises and did a full investigation on this and found that it looked pretty credible to him. I think it still looks like somebody wearing a ghillie suit, but he seems pretty convinced, I think, that this is a possible Bigfoot. So Dr. Jeff Melger in Professional Anatomy and Anthropology of Idaho State University has done extensive research on the elusive cryptid. There has been published data that indicates the examination of the bioclimatic factor. What is that? Something's knocking on the door. Established black bear population seems to also run very parallel to those attributable to Bigfoot based on its reportable distribution. Okay. Skeptics often point to the lack of physical evidence, such as bones, to discount these animals' existence. But that's not unusual with any animal, says Sasquatch researcher Steve Culls. Oh, I just
Whoa.
talked about him. Wow. To find a dead bear. I wonder if he's seen this. I'm sure he has. To find a dead bear in the wild is unheard of. The same thing with a coyote or a fox, even because the environment has its own disposal system. Culls said.
Yeah, me and Tristan were actually talking about this today while we were out and about where Bigfoot's body is possibly. And we were talking about how, their MO is to be elusive. So why would they leave their bodies around for us to find? It kind of goes against that. So it makes complete sense why we don't find their bodies anywhere. Now, Tristan brought up, well, what about the rogue ones? And yeah, that's a good question. What about those? Maybe some of them keep tabs on those rogue ones, and when they don't hear from them in the middle of the night with those crazy screams, maybe that's when they need to go send out a search party.
I think that dead things in the forest, they go away naturally. They get, they decompose fairly rapidly in natural settings. And we know that happens within a few weeks. So I think it
Mhm.
just, they're gone, you know? Once something's dead, everything scavenges and they're eaten, and the bones are eaten by porcupine and rodents and what have you. So it's, you know, bones may not be left around. And they also get spread around because animals carry that crap around away.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably what happens to those type of situations, when rogue situations. Um, so anyway, not a very long article, but whether they're humanoid or more animal, that is yet to be figured out. But they're here. They're there. That's what he says.
Hmm.
And I got that notification. So Squatch DTV is having, whoa, commercial, a show tonight, guys. So just so you know.
Yeah, I think it was what on the Bad Boy. What's it called? The original Bigfoot Bad Boy. Who that is?
Hmm.
Should be a good one.
And there is one more. This one was 4 days ago. We did that already. It's that picture of the guy on his tractor, and then you see the thing off to the side. We did that last week. Well, there's another article, Minnesota New Country. So we won't do that one. And then 3 days ago, Lorna Shore's Will Ramos mistaken for Bigfoot. What is that?
Hmm.
Let's take a look. Out of Metal Injection. Latest news. Lorna Shore's Will Ramos mistaken for Bigfoot after practicing vocals outside. This was done 3 hours ago. What did I say? 3 days ago. So Lorna Shore, vocalist Will Ramos' voice is such an anomaly that doctors put a camera down his throat to see what the hell was going on. Though in a slightly less scientific story told to Nick Nocturnal about his vocals, Ramos' guttural bellows were also once mistaken for the cries of Bigfoot out in the wild. Well, now we got is there a thing? Yes, there is. Let's see. Whoa, where did it take me? Oh shit. Wants me to pay.
Uh-oh.
Hear it. It does. I'm gonna do that. Okay. Play Lorna Shore. Oh, I'm attached everywhere.
Hmm.
So give me one moment.
Hey, Trackway, they probably eat a little bit of everything. Maybe depending upon the seasons. I'm sure during the summertime and stuff, they probably berry munchers, and then during the fall, whatever, probably more towards fish, occasional game, you know. There's a lot of, slugs, grouse, rabbits. You can take stuff out like that with a rock, and there's also natural things like certain tree barks and whatnot.
The American Airlines Advantage program, your daily purchases count towards earning status.
So yeah, that's what I kind of think. And I wonder if they cache their food in different sections, different little stations around their nomadic area that they possibly live in. So that could probably help them maintain a manageable food source in areas when, food might be scarce or whatever. Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Oh, there's a YouTube right there. I should have. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. I'm not going to play very much so I don't get a... Oh, it won't let me skip. Yeah, that's crazy. What is this?
Will, my homie, it's been a minute. How you been, man?
I've been amazing, really busy. The song before
Sounded like, again, all the singles obviously have, there's the mixtures of heavy. What the f Or yeah.
It's a blab, baby.
We got a blab, dude. Special
Oh, yeah.
stories are fun.
Song 1 was
I
like
still
the
don't hear
speeder
it.
song, like literal, like word for word. We were like, we needed an speeder. This is the speeder. You start the damn song, and then you hit your head on the wall, and that's how we start the album. And so, you know, that's why if you listen to it, or we're about to listen to it right now, you'll see there's a lot of breakdowns, and especially one super early in the song. We want you guys to know what you're getting yourselves into.
Up yeah. Was that a blab or a yeah?
It's a blab, baby.
We got a blab, dude. What the? Okay.
I don't know.
I'm
What's
processing.
this?
You know what I mean? Like,
I still didn't hear nothing of his voice.
What's this?
Did you hear it?
No,
I don't know. I hear the music, but I don't hear his voice. So let me see right here. No. I don't know. You guys can look it up for yourself. Tell me what his voice sounds like. Lorna Shore is the name of the group. Lorna Shore.
Oh, that's cool.
So he sounds like Bigfoot. So there you go. And Bella, I called them. They're coming to get you. Take a chill. My dog wants to go out. She's crossing her legs over there. And I think that's it. I think we covered the rest. That was 2 weeks ago. We did that one. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah, I don't
your
think.
week in Bigfoot.
Yeah, I don't think much has really gone on since last week as far as Bigfoot news.
Right.
Not that I'm aware of.
Did I cover everything? I think I covered everything. What are you guys doing? How's the chat looking? Been ignoring you. Pretty much. Wait, so you know the kind of foods Bigfoots can eat? Bigfoot is omnivorous and will eat whatever is available to him, from foraging plants and whatever vegetation is available, nuts, berries, to any kind of meat he can find. We don't know. We don't have a Bigfoot molar to go through like I showed you with Gigantopithecus. I'm just showing you what we had. So all we can do is speculate and assume that he's going to have a wide variety of a diet, kind of like a bear, because that's his habitat.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the food source around, what's abundant, and up here, water's really not much of an issue. And you just follow the food source, and there's a lot of food.
Right.
Especially if you know what you're looking for. Yeah.
Well, remember, we're only going off of encounter stories right now, what people say they've seen, or that we give them. They love donuts and they'll eat peanut butter and they like my apples, but they hate oranges and they eat the shellfish and salmon and fish, and we're just trying to. People in Texas say they're killing hogs. So I guess every area is going to be a little bit different in regards to that. UFO man, welcome to the chat. Wait, we jumped again. Why are you hoaxing UFOs? Oh, you guys have hoaxers in the UFO community like we do?
What?
What?
No, that's unheard of.
God.
That's unheard of.
The dog attacking me at the same time. Oh, scared the crap out of me. There's my flock again. Welcome. So something in Sasquatch about blueberry bagels are Bigfoot's favorite. That's what he says. Now we know. Now you know what to.
No, that's what an expert says.
Yeah, breaking news. What breaking news? Nikki Colon's program proves the existence of Bigfoot is highly unlikely in most areas of the U.
Sorry.
I know. Don't collect the poop. Don't collect Bigfoot poop unless you plan on doing something with it. And there are no gigantor Bigfoots unless there's a lot of food. There's a lot of food available. But corned beef, Grasshopper says corned beef. Oh my god, you guys are hilarious. Jimbo. What else? What else do we got? We've got about 5 more minutes left in the show because I want to make sure you guys can all go to Steve's show on time. You all have a potty break before you go. See how I am? I'll make sure. I make sure I take care of my peeps. Don't forget to go subscribe, please. If you like my content, hit the little like button and please subscribe because I'm really trying hard here. It would be nice.
You try very hard. I mean, you do very good work. Like hardest working woman in the subject, that's for sure.
I am. I have got new things planned. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to start go see Jojo Bone show. He's really good. I want to hang out with these people. I think they're awesome. And I'm going to try to start doing that, getting onto more podcasts, more live shows. And then I'll let you know how it goes.
It would be
they're fun.
Yeah, it would be really nice to see you and Pat do a show on what the topic was tonight, because I didn't have much insight to what you were talking about, so I couldn't really contribute as much. So it was really kind of a bummer that Pat had that difficulty tonight. So maybe in the future, you and him can go on a podcast and you guys can talk some more in depth about this and have some good discussions about it. So sorry I didn't have much commentary during that stuff. I was like, because it's new to me. It's like you do stuff where it's like I'm like with the audience, I'm learning just like them. So which is awesome, So keep that part up. But that'd be cool to have more of an in-depth conversation with this with you guys. So
well, I sent him the slides so he could see where I was going to head with this, and so you'd be a little bit clued in.
Yeah,
but Brent has a habit of I don't see him all week, so and then he kind of
busy week,
at the end, and then I plan this shit out like 2 days in advance, so I'm in the rush trying to do. Oh, okay, now I got an idea. Now it's going to take me this way and this and do this, and then before I know it, it's already Saturday, and I'm doing slides and the promos, and so anyway. And hence, that brings up another topic. I still have not sent out the winners from the Halloween winners, their prizes. And yes, but I got the flyers, the mailers today, so I'm gonna send the mailers out. Okay, I got that. It's gonna happen. It's just I'm taking my time. Okay. So.
No. I mean, you did a lot of work for this show tonight. So I mean,
I don't know how I'm gonna. How I'm gonna put all that in the Bigfoot book. I gotta figure out a way because I say
need to get another book.
I already have 2.
Time for a third.
Yeah, for sure. So I think with that, you have anything going on before we?
Not much other than subscribe to Lockbeard's new show.
Yes, please.
His new channel, and I guess we'll all go check out Steve's show after this, and probably see everybody in chat.
We'll see everybody over at Squatch DTV in the matter of minutes.
Yeah, and I'll try to contribute to the chat, but it's when I make dinner, so it's really hard to do that and make dinner at the same time. So
my family knows Sundays. They don't ask me. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You guys order your pizza or do whatever you're gonna do because you either eat early or you don't bother mama. Don't bother mama. So anyway, you guys, love you all, and we shall see you next week.
See ya.